Welcome back, guys, and all my friends. This is Undercode Software. So in this tutorial we are going to go just a bit of more about lists, and we are going to deal with list methods also in this video. So let's start. Let me say that let's say that if we want to make one of our elements to be represented by a certain string in our variable, friends, we can just say, or we can just type, like, let's say that we want to change the element of index number 3 to I am learning Python so quick. So what we do, we just type the variable square brackets. We include the index of that element we want to be represented by the new elements. We want to be represented by these new elements. I'm learning Python so quick. So if we try run our program, we see what we get. You see, that's what we get. So the element of index 3 has been replaced by I'm learning Python so quickly. So you can change anything. So you can say, we can also replace some elements using integers. Let's say friends. Let's use the element 0 to be replaced by a list. Let me say by a list, also to be represented by a list of index like 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So if we try again and we run our program, we see that it has changed and it has replaced our element of index number 0 with new values of because we have here, we say that let the element of index 0 be represented by a list of these numbers. I think now you have got me. So it has been replaced by this number. So let's go and we deal with list methods. We can also say that let's make also a list here called friend1. Let's change this to make a new variable called friends1, and remove this so that we can say friend1 is equivalent to friends to all lists in friends. So if we want to, we can say friends1 is equals friends2. This means that all the elements in friends are equivalent, are the same as elements in friends01. So if you want to print friends1, we just type print friends into parentheses friends1 into square brackets. We put colons. Let us run our program and see. As you see, this means that elements of friends is equivalent to element of friends1. So in that also you can say that also list let's say friends into bracket, into square brackets, 2 is equivalent to, maybe let's change the name of a list bracket. It's equivalent to, let's change the name, maybe Tom. It's equivalent to Tom. So if we try to run our Python, our program we have written, it's going to change the element of index number 2 to a new value called the Tom. So when we run our program, you see it has changed from Ryan to Tom. So that's how we can deal with lists. We change them here and there, lists, So for that, let's go for list methods. So methods used in lists. So there are many methods used in the list. So for now we are going to start with a list called the extend function. So a list method called the extend function. So for the extend function, this is used to join two lists, and the list you need to append or join to another is put in the quotes of the function. Note, the list you need to append or join to another is put in the quotes of the function. That's what they call the extend function. So let me try and say, if you have this a list of friends, if you have this list of friends, if you want to extend to join those two lists, let me say a list of called the lucky, let's say, is equivalent to numbers. Let me say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me say like that, and just equivalent to a list of numbers. So for this, if we want to join these lists to come up with one list, we just use the extend method. We print out friends. Note, this is put in inside the parentheses of the extend method, like inside the parentheses of the extend method, the one we want to join with. So when we try to run our program, you see that this list, oops, I got an error. Oh, we got an error. It's saying, in our time it's saying none. So let's change this, and we say no. Oops. So we type friends.extend, and we put the list we want to extend to friends in the parentheses of extend. Then we print out friends. If you try to print out friends, you will see, let's run our program, you will see that it has append it has appended or joined the lucky numbers we have wrote here in our variable lucky to the variable of the list of names friends, as you see in our terminal, and it has made it just as one list. So that's all about the extend method. Let's go for another method called the append. So for the append method, and this is used to add an element or string or integer at the end of the list. That's what we call the append method. At the end of the list, at the end of the list. So this is what they call the append method. So if you want to add an element on our list of friends, we just use append method. So when you want, let me say the name is called, if you want to add another name in the list at the end of the list, let me add another name, let me say John. So when we try to run our program, you see it has added John at the end of the list, because this append method, it just add elements at the end of a list. Let's go for another function called insert. For the insert method also adds elements, integers, strings anywhere in the list according to the given index where you want to insert the element in the list. So let me say if you want to insert maybe John in the index of 2 Ryan here is at index of 2. To extend Ryan a bit, and Ryan goes into this index 3, so that John turns to index 2. So we use what they call the insert method. Insert method. So for the insert method, we use what they call index, as we have been using the index. So we first write the index where we want John to be, John to be inserted, and we add a comma. Then we put quotes. We put the name or the string or the element we want to insert into our list in quotes. So when we run again our program, you'll see that John will be inserted at an index of 1. And so as you see, Karen is a bit extended to another index of 2. So if you want to put John at index 3, when we run our program, you see John Rita has been extended from index 3 to index 4. So when we try to print out, let me say index 4, print friends 4, you see when we try to run our program, you see that it has changed, the Rita has changed from index 3 to index 4. You see, So there are certain situations where you can need or you want to remove a certain element from a list. To remove a certain element from a list, so for there we can use a function called remove function, .remove function. This is used to delete or remove elements, strings or numbers from string of a variable in a list. So let me say, if you want to remove, let me say, if you want to remove, if you want to remove let me say Ryan from the list, we just type fields.remove into parentheses quotes Ryan, the element you want to remove from. Then when we run our program, you'll see that in our new list, Ryan is not included. The reason, you have removed him from the list. So there's also what they call clear function. For this clear function in lists, this removes all the elements from the list and the list remains empty. So for that, for the clear function, so clear function just removes all the elements from the list and the list becomes empty, as you see here in our terminal. So the list is empty. So there is a certain also a function called the pop function. With this pop, this is used to remove or delete the last element in the list. It's just like the opposite of append, because append, you add a list, an element at the end. You add an element at the end of a list. So for the pop, you remove an element in a list at the end. Let me say, if we try to run our program, it's going to remove Rita from our list because you pop the list. So when we try to run our program, you see it has removed Rita. So our new list has only 3 elements, 3 names. So that's all about the pop method. There is also another method called we talked about index. There's a certain method called count. For this count, so for the count, this is used to count how many times a certain element has appeared or has done in a list, has been repeated in a list. So when we try also to put here, let me say Ryan, you also add another element name called Ryan here. So this count helps us to know the number of times an element has appeared in the list. So we write count and we ask for Ryan. How many times does Ryan appear in the list? So when we run our program, okay, let's print our program and see. Let's print. So when we print, it tells us how many times Ryan has appeared. So when we run our list, we get 2. Reason Ryan has appeared 2 times. So if we had another Ryan where at here at index number 0, and we add here again Ryan. Again Ryan, it will give us free. When we run again our program, you see that the terminal it has given us, it has counted how many times Ryan has appeared. So let's also add another function called the sort. So for sort function, this arranges the element in the list from the smallest to the biggest if numbers, and if in alphabetical order, it's just put them in ascending order. So let me say if we are dealing with, let me say for sort, let me say if you are dealing with let us remove this and also remove this. No, we'll remove also that. So if we are dealing with sort, this arranges the elements from the smallest to the biggest, from in alphabetical order, ascending order, in ascending order. So when we try to run our program using the sort function, yes, none. So we have to remove this and this, and we'd say print, oops, also this, and we say print. So when we run our program, we see that it has arranged our list in alphabetical order, R R K K, as you see. So let's run let's also arrange the lucky numbers in ascending order. Let's also sort them. So when we try to run our lucky, we see that the list has been arranged from the smallest. You see, 2 is the last one, yet here 2 is the first one. 3, 90 here, 9 here. Just arrange it in ascending order. So let's go to the next function called the reverse. So for the reverse, just distance elements of the list to appear from the last to the beginning, so in a descending order. So for this, let's say reverse. So when you try to run a program, you see it just changes the last one to become the first one, and the first one turns to be the last one. Got me? The last element becomes the first element, and the first element becomes the last element. That's what they call the reverse. It turns the things, you know. So also there's another function called the copy. You know, there's another function called the copy. Also copy. So we can also deal with copy. So for a copy, this copies or duplicates elements of one list to another. You can say that let me say the lucky 2, lucky. So lucky2 is equivalent to lucky1 as a copy, as a what? As a copy. So when we try, let's move this. When we try to print out lucky2, we get let's run our program. We get to know that it has copied lucky2 has become a duplicate of lucky1 of lucky. So when try to print out lucky2, we get the exact elements of a list of the list variable lucky. So that's all about methods or functions or modifying lists. So thank you for watching this tutorial. Let's meet in another tutorial. Just don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get more and more videos. So just keep staying. Thank you for watching. I like you. See you in the next video.